Okay, now I want to talk about the narrative and how quickly it took shape in the aftermath of the shooting. When all this confusion is reigning supreme, somehow this narrative took shape almost immediately. In fact, by 12:44, Dallas police already had their suspect not in custody, but they knew his name, and it was fixing to go out over an all points bulletin. Everyone's got to know his name. How in the world, when the shooting happened at 12:30 and no one was an eyewitness to the actual shooter, how in the world 14 minutes later did they have his name? What a question, right? All right, here's the story. In the aftermath of the shooting, Lieutenant Jack Revel was assigned to go into the Texas School Book Depository, where a lot of the Dallas police thought the shooter was in the Texas School Book Depository. His job was to go in and do a roll call of all the workers that were re-entering the building and compare it with a list from Human Resources, Texas School Book Depository or Human Resources, who was there and who was supposed to be there, and that anyone who was missing would go to the top of the list and be a suspect. So Lieutenant Jack Revel went in and began taking the roll call. After he had compiled a list of everyone who was there, and then had also a list of everyone who was supposed to be there from the Texas School Book Depository personnel people, along with their phone numbers, their addresses, all their personal information, he got back in a police cruiser and headed back to Dallas Police Headquarters to cross-check it and see who was missing. Into the car, the passenger side, jumps an ONI officer. I don't know his name, but he was definitely ONI. And we know this because of testimony from another military intelligence officer years later. Anyway, this ONI officer rides back to the police headquarters with Lieutenant Jack Revel. And voila, 14 minutes later, Revel produces a list with a Harvey Lee Oswald, who lived at, quote, 605 Elsbeth, right at the top of his list. The rest of his list, beneath it, was alphabetized. Harvey Lee Oswald was by itself at the top. What's interesting about that? Well, a couple things. Number one, why is that name out of order at the top? And number two, why is the name misapplied? His name is Lee Harvey Oswald, not Harvey Lee. And why is the address no good? This is an address at which Lee Harvey Oswald lived a year before, but his Texas School Book Depository personnel file had his name correct, Lee Harvey Oswald, and had his address as 2515 West 5th Street. So we know, based upon what Lieutenant Jack Revel printed on that suspect list, that he did not get the suspect's name from the personnel file. He did not get the suspect's address from the personnel file. So the question is, where did he get it? And that brings us back to the ONI officer. This is something we didn't find out until 1978 at the House Select Committee hearing. So this is, 15 years after the fact. A Colonel Robert Jones from the 4th Army Intelligence at Fort Sam Houston testified that on November 26, 1963, in the seconds and minutes after the assassination, he heard from his people in Dallas, almost immediately, that Dallas police already had a man in custody, and his name was Alec James Heidel. And so he got into his military intelligence files, and he looked for a name Heidel, and he found it, and it cross-referenced to a Harvey Lee Oswald of 605 Elsbeth. Colonel Jones immediately got on the phone and tipped the ONI officer who was in the car with Lieutenant Jack Revel that this Heidel that they had under arrest, his real name, Heidel was an alias, and his real name was Harvey Lee Oswald, and his address was 605 Elsbeth. Now this isn't me saying this. This is Colonel Robert Jones saying, this is what I did. I cross-referenced it, I called the ONI officer, and I told him. And that's where the name came from. And that's where the address came from. What does that mean? That means that, well, a couple things. First of all, there is no such thing as Alec James Heidel who had been arrested yet. In fact, Dallas police don't even know of an Alec James Heidel until they do arrest Lee Harvey Oswald several hours later and they look in his wallet and they find an alias for Alec James Heidel. In other words, they did not come up with this alias. Dallas police did not come up with Harvey Lee Oswald and the 605 Elsbeth. Oswald hadn't even been arrested yet. This is 14 minutes in. When Lieutenant Jack Revel made his list, Dallas police didn't have either name, Oswald or Heidel, which means they didn't have an address either. It was military intelligence who seeded the name Heidel into the record, knowing that that would cross reference to a man named Harvey Lee Oswald and lead them right to their patsy. Military intelligence had Oswald's info parked in a ready-to-go file to create this cover story, which is information that's prepared in advance to further a narrative. They had it parked in a ready-to-go file, and upon hearing that there had been an arrest, even though there hadn't been, they kicked into gear, cross-referenced to Heidel name to Harvey Lee Oswald, 605 Elsbeth, which is where he had lived a year before. And proof that this name came from military intelligence, not from any detective work that Lieutenant Jack Revel did or the Dallas police did. The name Harvey Lee Oswald, which they later found was Lee Harvey Oswald, and his address was not 605 Elsbeth, it was 2515 West 5th, or 2515 West 5th Street. All of that information came from military intelligence. When you say military intelligence, you might as well just say CIA. So the CIA had prepared in advance a way to seed their patsy's name into the record to fill any vacuum. You know, one of these things, in the aftermath of any sort of event like this, there's a vacuum of information, and people will latch onto and believe pretty much whatever they hear at first, because they have this desperate need. It's a psychological need we all have to make sense of what just happened. And if a name comes across all points in the form of an all points bulletin or the radio, a name of a suspect. And of course, if you've noticed, a lot of these assassins always have three names, right? John Wilkes Booth, Lee Harvey Oswald, James Earl Ray, and they're almost always Southerners. So this became a way to seed the name into the public consciousness immediately, to fill that vacuum, to satisfy that need, and to launch the criminal justice system in pursuit of one person. And his name was Lee Harvey Oswald. And it all came from military intelligence. The whole thing was a setup. So that's an interesting little factoid a lot of people don't know, how they got his name 14 minutes in. It came from military intelligence, which by itself should be enough to arouse a lot of suspicion. The source of that name and that misapplied name and that wrong address. Okay, thank you.